loves, it's Sam. So today I'm going to be doing my review of the new Revlon Photoready Airbrush Effect makeup in 002 Vanilla. This has an SPF of 20 and surprisingly, even though it has an SPF of 20, it does actually photograph quite well with flash. It didn't give me like a humongous white cast, so I was really surprised with this because I thought for sure it was not going to photograph well. This retails for, I believe, somewhere around $14. It was buy one get one half off at Rite, so I ended up getting it for $7.34, but I believe it's $14.69, so you know, kind of right around that $15 range. The website says it's a revolutionary formula with light filtering technology, delivers a poreless airbrushed look. Soft focus pigments create a luminous finish. Your skin has never looked so flawless. I have to disagree with that because it does not give you a luminous finish. It gives you a very matte finish, in my opinion. It does not give you flawless skin at all. It has not got a full coverage. This is a medium coverage. And it's not buildable. So if you think, well, maybe a second coat will be better, it's not. The second coat literally just cakes up, gets stuck together, it bunches up. It's terrible. It is not buildable at all. And the first layer of foundation, in my opinion, if you're someone like me who does have non-perfect skin, you have pigmentation problems, you might have some unevenness or maybe some color discoloration from like acne or whatever, it's not going to cover up what you need to cover up. Also, if you have dark circles, it's not going to cover those up whatsoever either. So it's definitely not a full coverage foundation. It's a matte finish. Like for me, it was matte. My skin just looked really just blah. However, there are these tiny little sparkles. Like not even sparkles, it's like shimmers in them. And when you look at the foundation, you're like, hold on a minute, is this a highlighter? But on the skin, like when you're just looking at yourself, you don't see them. It's just when you get really up close that you're like, wait, I think I've got some sparkles on my face. But it's nothing to me that would bother me because I think it depends on what shade you get. I definitely do recommend setting this with a powder because it is a very tacky, kind of sticky formula. If you just leave it and then don't powder it, when you put your blush or your bronzer on, you're gonna have a really big like streakage, like really pigmented section because it is such a tacky formula. It really wants to stick. You're also gonna get fallout if you use like a shadow that's gonna trickle down. It's gonna be stuck. So I definitely recommend setting it with a powder. I tried two different powders. I tried the Hello Flawless Benefit. It looked really cakey when I used the Hello Benefit mixed with this. Today I'm using it with the Revlon, or sorry, not the Revlon, the L'Oreal, where is it? The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and that looks much better today. It looks much more like skin, it's less cakey, so I think this foundation can be a really good foundation if you pair it with the right powder. But alone, I do not like it at all. It is one of my least favorite foundations because it's a nightmare to apply. It's really sticky, it dries really fast, it's just really, it doesn't blend well, it's not buildable. If you go back over a certain spot too many times, it like bunches up together and gets a patch of foundation. So I hate the fact of how it applies. It's just terrible. And I don't like the finish and I don't like the coverage. So alone, I would never ever wear this again. Plus it broke me out and it just ends up looking a little bit cakey, especially around the nose and the kind of mouth chin area. Throughout the day, it does tend to look a little bit like worn. Like, you know how like kind of like desert, the ground in a desert, it gets all kind of like cracky and like bunched up into like those areas. Now my wrinkles don't look too bad with it. Again, I think that really depends on the powder you use because I did use it one day with the Hello Flawless and my wrinkles looked terrible. But then with the L'Oreal Infallible powder, it looked really good. So I don't necessarily think it's this foundation that's making the wrinkles look bad. I think it just kind of bunched up with the powder. It feels heavy on the skin. It looks kind of heavy on the skin. It just doesn't give me that flawless finish that I want. I can't say I love this foundation really at all. I would never buy this again, but it does look really beautiful in pictures. My skin looked flawless in pictures. So I would probably only ever wear it for pictures because it really did look beautiful. Like everything just kind of disappeared in pictures. As the night goes on, towards the end of the night, it starts to look really cakey and kind of like really just like cracky around certain areas. So even though it does last, like it doesn't melt off your face, it just tends to kind of build up and just kind of look a little bit cruddy. You also do not have any oxidation with this, so the color that you get is the color you're gonna keep. It's not gonna get any darker as you wear it. So I'm vanilla, and I am the second lightest shade. So there's ivory, which is the very lightest, then there's vanilla. So I am vanilla, and it is quite yellow, but it ends up working out fine once I have all the rest of my makeup on. There's 12 shades altogether. So keep on watching to see how I apply this. Thank you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. If you're someone who likes a pink foundation, I don't think this line or this specific one from Revlon is going to work for you because it all seemed quite yellow or neutral. There wasn't really very much pink. So right off the bat, I love the fact that it's a pump because it's just less messy and you don't have to worry about it getting all grossy-joesy like the Color Stay where it just gets into your lid and it's just a mess. So I like that it has a pump. It is a glass bottle, so keep that in mind if you're someone who does travel. It's 1 ounce, so it's kind of like a normal size, but I'm just going to try, whoa, 1 pump. So 1 pump puts out quite a lot of product. It's like liquidy, but it's almost like a liquidy, it has like a silky kind of texture from the first feel at least. Now it does feel like it dries quite quickly. Like I feel like it's already starting to get quite tacky, which I find to be a lot of the Revlon foundations have that, especially like the Color Stay. So it's something that I feel like you do have to work quite quickly with. So that pump really only covered that part of my face. I'd say a little bit does not go a long way with this foundation. It really just soaks up into the brush a lot. Yeah, it's really sticky. Like, it's just got a super tacky texture. So I feel like it really, you have to work quite hard at it to like blend it out. It's not one of those ones that is like super just like, oh, you can just throw it on. And it burns if you get it in your eye, because I just stabbed my brush in my eye and now my eye is stinging. Oh, I don't know. I don't like this foundation at all to blend. I just feel like it's not buildable. It's like your first coat and you're done. Because it's really got a really tacky texture. It dries and you're not, oh, now it's getting all cakey. Oof, this is not good at all. So definitely do not put a second coat of this on, because it's just gonna get sticky and tacky, and it gets a little bit cakey looking and kind of like bunches up in your hairs. My brush is all oh, see, look at that. That's, I don't know if you guys can tell, that's just gone all mangled. It seems to have like a matte finish in my opinion. When you get up close in the mirror, there's like sparkles. Like really, really fine amount of like glitter. It's almost like you have tiny sweat beads. Like they're so tiny that like when you just look, you can't see anything. But then when you get up close, you're like, wait a minute, I've got sparkles on my face. But it's nothing that you would notice like just from looking at me like this. It's only when you get up super duper close. They're just like almost like microscopic. They're so tiny. I would not be happy with this. I feel like the coverage, I just don't look like, I still look really dark underneath the eyes. I can't say my skin looks really pretty at all. It might look better in camera, but in real life, it doesn't look very good. Okie dokie. So I've got all my makeup on. For some reason, I feel like this foundation, it like makes you whiter as it goes. Is that like weird? I don't know. I just feel like I look in the mirror, maybe it's the red lips, but I feel really, really pale. I ended up putting it with my powder on top because without a powder, it feels really, really tacky. I felt like if I put blush over that, it was just going to be a huge streak. So I definitely recommend powdering this foundation, or you will have a little bit extra pigmentation when you're applying your bronzer or your blush or your highlight, because it is so tacky that things just want to cling to it. Even still feels a bit tacky on the skin. So this is definitely not a foundation where you feel like you're wearing nothing. I feel like I'm wearing foundation, and it feels like, to the touch, like I feel like I could just swipe it right off. Although it feels like it's gonna stay in place. It does feel like it's gonna stay in place, but I feel like it's just tacky to the touch. So it definitely feels like you're wearing makeup. It's not a lightweight foundation. Now that I have all of the rest of my makeup on, my wrinkles, you know, they're there. I would say it definitely looks a little bit heavier than my normal foundation that I wear with the same powder. But I must say that my skin does look very bright. It does look quite flawless now that I do have the powder on. Without the powder though, I did not like it. So just going off of the foundation alone without anything else, I just didn't care for it. It was just too tacky. It didn't have that flawless coverage or finish that I wanted, and I just didn't really like the way it made my skin look. But then when I get up really close, you can see sparkles all over my face still, even though I powdered. They're still peeking through, and like I said, it's not like they're huge sparkles. They're just really, really tiny. Like every now and then you'll move and you're like, I've got a little sparkle on me. And they're actually quite nice looking. I actually quite like them, because they kind of just give you like this little like, hi, I'm just like such a fairy. I'm so reflective. 11:43 a.m. right now, so I will check back in a few hours. We have some errands to run. I've got a party to go to, and then I'll come back and let you guys know how it's been wearing. But I do want to let you guys know that I did powder it. I just used my Hello Flawless, which does give you some coverage, and this is by Benefit. But that's what I have on top of it. But yes, that is what it looks like with all of the rest of my makeup on. Hi, I'm back. It is now 4:05, so it's been on for what? Just over 4 hours. Around my nose, I might have to zoom in, but there's a little bit of kind of like, it's had a little bit of movement, and when you can't tell if I'm just like this, but when I go like that, you can tell it just looks a little bit cruddy, maybe just a tiny little bit there. I am not oily whatsoever, which usually by now after 4 hours I am with my normal foundation. So I love the fact that I'm not greasy, because that's like one of my biggest things right now, is that I just keep on getting super oily. I just wanted to show you up close. That's what I'm talking about, where it gets a little bit like cracky, like, hey, I'm in the desert and I'm looking a little cracky, just like right there and right there. And this is what my face looks like in the evening. I'm looking in the mirror. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but my forehead is like so greasy. Right here is so greasy. Right here is super greasy. My chin looks like I have like Vaseline all over it. I'm hoping you guys are gonna be able to tell the oil and how it kind of just looks like a little bit kind of cakey around here. I don't know, like right there. Let's see, let's get up close. Can you guys tell right there? And like, look at that oil, 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 oil. So there you go. That's what it looks like in the evening. So there's my review, guys. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did find this helpful. If you are liking the foundation reviews, then let me know, because I love doing foundation reviews because I find them to be really helpful. Thank you again. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and my blog, samschuerman.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Mwah.